Hey guys, welcome back to another commentary video. I'm sorry that I haven't commentated for a little while. I'm just a bit unwell, so if I start coughing, you might be able to hear it. If I start coughing during the video, I'm so sorry. Now, today we have a viewer-submitted match by Bahman Dashti versus Victor Mutart. So we got Bahman over here, I believe, and Victor here on the left. And so I promised young Bahman that I would watch this match for him and commentate on it for a little while. I didn't forget, but then we had Nicky Ryan's brother versus Josh Saunders, and I wanted to do that first. And so, again, I'm very sorry for the illness, guys. I'm doing my best, and you know, I've been training hard for the state titles, which is coming up this weekend, and so we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, before we begin, thank you so much for all the support, guys. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to join the Discord and interact with me, the link is down below. It should be good for everyone. If not, then that's okay as well. I just appreciate you guys tuning in. So let's get into the match. We'll just have a look. So we've got Bahman on the right, and then Victor on the left. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Bahman. But it's a gi match. It looks like an octagon match, guys. I'm sorry for the quality. This is the best that we had as well, but we'll just go for it. And so we got like this good grip fighting. Bahman, I like what you're doing in terms of like going backwards to when you feel like you're losing the grip fight. It's quite good. And so there's a bit of a change of camera angle, and your opponent, comes in and grabs, and you pull guard quite nicely. I would like to see a little bit more sticky hook, right? So this foot here was, your foot's long, and then you got your ankle, and your foot's out. I love to see this foot, ankle, and up a little bit more. What this will let you do, mate, is it'll let you connect to the thigh and then rotate your knee in, which will start off-centering the opponent's knee to the inside. Now, the next detail I saw here, this grip. This grip needs to be taller so that you have more control over your opponent. Your opponent's posture is kind of already gone, and they're losing pretty badly. All you need to be able to do is use this hand on the collar and pull harder, and then you'll be able to start sweeping them in like balloon sweeps very easy. And so other than that, though, really quite good. And you can see how he's already coming forwards, like his heels off the floor, his toes are on the floor, his balance is off. You've got all the opportunity in the world just to put a foot on the hip and lift him, and you would win, right? But he's trying to go for this ankle lock weird type of deal, and he's playing this. Okay. For your opponent, no. Just no. It's a meme, dude. It's a meme. Those who can't pass guard go for leg locks. This is not a good setup at all. The foot. Do I bother getting into why this is not good? Yeah, it's an educational video. The left knee is not on the inside. This foot's not controlling the hip. This is fucking shit. There's no leverage going straight backwards past the ankle. He's not going to get the foot because as he falls backwards, he'll pull you up on top. There's no control over your bottom knee, so you can just push this foot to the floor. The knee comes up and over the top, he sweeps himself. It's just... and then he tries to readjust the foot back to the inside and then ends up pulling you on top. Very well done, Bahman, taking advantage of this, because that was just not good. That was just not good. Yeah. If you don't win this match, I'm going to be sad, basically. I love that backstep attempt, and I love the fact that you've put this head on the inside space now, and now you're wrapping the legs. All you need to do is drive further forwards and use your right hand here to latch onto the hip. But yeah, like I understand, you let him up. So there you should be winning. You shouldn't be taking your head out. You should be driving to the inside space and using it to push him flat. You are winning here. Drop your shoulder into his hip. But the decision making is easy to say outside the match. And so you let him up, we reset. You should be winning this match. You should already be mounted by now, basically, because whatever the fuck this guy did was just... I don't know what that was. That wasn't jiu-jitsu. That was a white belt mistake. And he's wearing a purple belt. And so you pull guard again. Very well done. Again, I like what you're doing now with these legs here, Bahman. You're doing a really good job. I love this posture with the hips off the floor. And I love the fact that you're like a bowl and you're crunched, right? This is really good. I'd love to see higher control on the collar and much more heave in with the hands. And so you're doing a really good job. I feel like you're better off... I don't know kind of how you got that sweep there. There's nothing really in this particular posture that says to me that you should have gotten that sweep, because he has his back leg free. So he should be able to step that back around the corner, but kind of just accepts the loss again, and I don't know why. And so he starts going, like, there's a lot to unpack here, right? There's a lot to unpack here. He goes over the top for some fucking reason. He sits down for some reason. He starts rolling up and over for like a knee bar. I don't know what the rules are in this particular match. But like he rolls up and over the top, and all you have to do is just bring this knee forwards and follow him with your hips on his, and then as he rolls, you'll end up squishing him, right? And so from this position, you see how he's like lifting you over the top. This left hand should be ready to take advantage of the crossface and pull you central and flat to him. And what that lets you do, especially if you're using your right leg here to hook on his thigh, as he rotates over the top, he'll end up pulling his own leg out of the way, and he'll pull you to mount. And so he's obviously quite strong, and he's pushing you off the top. Love this head positioning of yours, but I would really love to see you not necessarily grabbing the shoulders, but rather controlling the priority knee and having your head a little bit more central on the shoulder. And so we're here now. Very nice work diving straight through. I love the fact that you went into this cross collar. It's really, really good. Head past the shoulder now. So you should be gunning for your head to travel past the shoulder to the floor without really mucking around. So you see how you're just there. When you go, you see how your chest is coming off him here. That should never be a thing. You should be collapsing your chest in, pinching your head across to start like fucking with the ability, like a head and arm choke, that type of thing. Yes, you have to be aware of guillotines, which is why I prefer head on the inside to start flattening the shoulder down to the ground. But you don't need a lapel wrap to control right now. What you need is your thumb on the inside of the gi, head on the shoulder, and then this hand connecting to your other hand. But because you see how your chest is tall, you allowed this hand to come into the space, and now he's got a fighting chance again. And now that he's on the butterfly hook, he lifts you up and over the top, and he starts escaping. So very nice weave off of that guard. There's just a few little things that you could be doing to make this much more effective for you. So I love this positioning. You're doing really well with that knee. But again, I just can't help but feel like maybe you're a little bit elongated out. And the reason why that worked for you is because he's not very good, not because you did something well. Yes, you should get to the crossface, but your hips need to be a bit closer to him. He needs to be more flat before you start reaching like what you did. Because if you don't here, right, I don't know why the fuck he's reaching over the top of your arm. This hand should be coming in front of your face. What that lets him do is it lets him shrimp out, insert the butterfly hook. Because you're reaching for his head, he'll have like a part of your base taken away. Then he can elevate your hips up and over the top while pulling on this arm back around the corner, and you'll get swept. And so he made a mistake here, and you capitalized really well, but I'd love to see you just smashing into him more. And taking your time to go to the hips and the priority knee being the bottom knee, depending on which side he's facing. So if his hips are facing to his right leg will be the priority. If his hips are facing to the left, his left knee will be the priority. And you're doing really, really well starting to pass the guard, but because you're so tall, he gets this hand on your hip, and because your hips are tilted to the ground, it's going to be hard for you to stop him from pushing you. Whereas if you just get your head on the floor and start using your chest to cross-face him rather than your hand, you do much better. And he manages to sweep you because your hips are a little bit off-center. So he's using a lot of juice. Right now, your left hand is not really serving a purpose. Not really serving a purpose. You're better off hunting for the other sleeve or the pant leg now. You manage to sweep him again. Again, it's a little bit disappointing to see his reactions. And you almost triangle him. He bullies his way out of it, and you re-guard really nicely. And so... I don't know. Okay. He just fucking fell over before you put the foot in. He just straight up fucking fell over before you even put the foot in. He should be bending his knees. Right? Like knee, hip, leg, hips across, bending the knees out, yeah? Like this, hips across, and then bending the knees. Instead, he just fucking falls over and dies. What? I don't know. Like, watching this, it's hard to think this match wasn't rigged, It's hard to think this match wasn't fixed with his reactions for a supposed purple belt. They're fucking Amazon special, isn't they? I shouldn't be mean. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't know. Like, this is not the standard of a purple belt that I would expect, to be honest with you. This is a standard of, like, 4-stripe white belt, maybe. He's just falling over for no reason, and to see it happen in like an actual professional match is a little bit aggravating. But that's okay. Bahman, you're doing a great job of controlling now. Really good job getting around the side. I love the fact that Neo's on the belly now, and you're starting to look to get to mount. You need to be hunting for that underhook though, straight away. Also, your chest is coming off him still. You need to be lower. You need to be trying to connect your chest as much as you possibly can to him. So we'll keep on watching. You should be getting that underhook, and you should be trying to go to mount. This is a useless hook. You should be using that foot on the floor to help drive yourself across the body while you search for an underhook and clear the arm up to the head so you can't stop this foot. You don't grapevine. Grapevining like this is not very good. So he's exposing his back now. Again, you're coming off of him a lot, and you should be practicing your pressure technique. To that end, get an exercise ball, and then like try and move around it, just like you would side control, side to side, while maintaining pressure with your chest the whole time. And that's how you start developing a pressure technique. Alternatively, I've got a video of it as well, where you can start practicing it with a friend. I don't know why you jumped back into the guard there. You didn't need to. Like, yes, he's pushing you, but you just made it way easier for him by jumping for him. Let him push you. If you're going to lose it and you recognize you're going to lose it, that's fine. But at least let him do the effort to, like, push you. That way he's burning more juice, and now he's got a defense in place when you didn't really need to let that happen. You could have, for example, kept this knee on his belly, or started like reaching deeper into the collar, giving up this submission attempt, using your left hand to block the hips, then put your chest low and let him carry your weight through his hands. That would have prevented the re-guard, and I don't know why you jumped back into that guard there, to be honest with you. Yes, submission attempts are tantalizing, but you need better control before you go for them. Otherwise, they're just luck. They're not skill. And so we get into this position where your cross-collaring is defending it relatively nicely, probably more stubborn than anything. Your positioning could be a little bit better, a little bit deeper into the cross-collar. But, you know, the fact that you still went for it and now you've transitioned quite nicely into like a backstep pass is quite good. The fact that you're sitting off him, though, is a no. You should be driving in, almost trying to force his head through the cage wall. This is not heavy. This is not heavy when you sit down off them. You should be using this foot to stack up, like bum tall, and then head low, head to the floor on the other side, using your hand to fuck with the knee, and then you can still backstep if he does a big bridge, right? But at the moment, it's kind of not doing much, and he makes a mistake of unlocking his guard for you to do the backstep rather than you necessarily doing anything to force that. And so you did really well to capitalize on, but I think you could do better to force the issue rather than rely on him making mistakes, as you do jiu-jitsu that forces them to move, which opens up that space rather than them making a bad decision. You know, my coach once said to me, any strategy that relies on your opponent being bad is not a good strategy. No. That you're winning here. You don't need to do anything other than cross-face the fuck out of him. Get your thumb into the back of his gi with your right hand and just flare your elbow. This will force him flat, which will open up space for the underhook. You can just start settling your chest to the inside space. If you get the underhook and a crossface and your head on the floor, you will start opening up the space for your knee to go. You don't need to do any fancy shit with trying to pull this knee down. The knees are already cleared. Why are you going back into them? This foot is allowing you so much drive into him, and you take it away for free when your pressure technique is not that good, frankly. And I'm not saying that to be hurtful. It's just like you destroy your own pressure technique and your ability to use it by taking this foot away when his legs aren't doing anything at all. You know, just to try and free this leg to go to mount when your leg's already free. Just focus on the crossface at this point, and then you'll win, you know. Because then what happens is you end up on the other side. He's making a massive mistake of going over your head here, and he's going to try and like wrench you up and over the top. But whatever. So get your chest low. You don't need that. You don't need the gi wrap at all. You just need a thumb in the back of the gi, and it'll do a better job than what you've got here. You just need to stay low and heavy, and you got this really nice threat here, Bahman, of like a bicep slicer, but really the space is now free for you to put your knee over the top to mount. So you should be going to mount. Because the angling isn't quite there. He's going to be resisting this. You know, like, it's good to go for it. If you manage to get the tap, great. But if you don't, just go to mount, because otherwise you'll lose the opportunity to do so. And then you'll fail on the submission attempt anyway, and then he might get out. It's easier to get out of a side than it is mount, right? And so you realize that you don't have it, and instead of going to mount, you pin the arm. Which is nothing wrong with this, because it's like the setup to a crucifix and canto chokes and all the rest of it. But again, you need to be advancing the position. Side control is not a very good control compared to back or mount. And so you should be advancing the position to make the defense harder than the attack, right? In side control, it's easier to defend attacks than it is to defend them from mount. And so you should be putting yourself in those spots where you can just attack them more easily. Because if you're doing it from a position where it's easier to attack than to defend, the likelihood that you will get the submission is higher, and the likelihood you'll win is higher. So set yourself up for success by transitioning before you ever go for these these attacks. I'm not sure what the plan is here for you, maybe far side arm, but because you keep on coming off of his body, you allow him this underhook again, and you didn't need to. And so now all of a sudden he's escaping, and the only thing keeping him here is literally the cage. Literally your environment is winning you the match rather than you. And so you do the right thing driving into him, but again, it's just the cage that prevents him from moving rather than anything you're doing well. And so, yep, nice transition to start forcing the issue to mount because you didn't have space yourself. I would love to see you just go to mount, flatten him out, and then start fucking smashing him from there, rather than like a pseudo neon belly. Settle down low, settle low, tuck the feet in. You're too tall. And you're doing really, really well here now. Yeah, it's a bit better. Don't grapevine. Grapevining is not very good. Instead, tuck the feet in, and if he bridges, you windshield wiper one knee in underneath his back. You don't want a grapevine. It's not a very good technique. It doesn't accomplish much. So I like what you're doing now. I like you going for this underhook. This type of control that you're exhibiting right now is what you should have been doing the entire time, and you should be lower even now than you are, and that'll help a lot. And so you let go of the underhook for some reason. I don't know why. Just go for the underhook, and you let go of this underhook for some reason. I don't know why. If you kept this underhook, if he puts his elbow across your center line of your body, you end up with a crushing underhook, and a crushing underhook effectively with your body. And then you can just shuffle this out of the way, secure it with the other hand under the head, and then start using your other hand to scoop the top elbow in for like a gift wrap. But you need to be working on your pressure technique. You're way too tall. Look at all the space. Look at all the space. And so I like the fact that you're still maintaining the control, but your opponent is frankly terrible. I shouldn't say that because it's quite mean, but he's not doing very well. He's not making good decisions right now with this elbows. You have all the opportunity just to smash your fucking weight into his face, which will take weight out of your hands, be heavier for him, force him to push you, which is better for you because it burns his energy, and give you more opportunities to get double unders and win. And so I know that you're going for a cross collar, but again, look at all of this space. Very nice setup. Very nice setup to the cross collar. I would be no, absolutely not with this. Absolutely not with this, because you cramp your own space now to start attacking the submissions. And if you're with someone that's quite strong, you're now giving them all of the leverage they need to bridge and start moving you. You're better off sitting your hips on his belly and keeping your feet controlling his hips so that you have all the space in the world to start going for the cross collar. And you had it, you just give up too easily because your chest is too tall. And so you need to start really working on controlling people with low chest, Bahman. Yes, you see how he crossed the center line of his body with that elbow? Watch. Here. This elbow. That to me is indicative that you need to smash down low right now. And then your right hand will go underneath his bottom elbow. This hand goes underneath his head, and you end up with a perfect loop around his arms. You can start looking to flatten him out back to the mats, and then you win, basically. And so it's like a winning position, but you just need to be more confident with your putting your weight down. That's better. That right there all the time. Good job. That's what we need. And yes, you get thrown off a lot when you're learning this, but you get to a stage where you read people's intentions quite well, and then it's too hard for them to escape, So you're done well. You're starting to look for this armbar. This would have been way better for you if you had attacked this from double unders. So it would have forced you not to sit off. So right now you were forced to sit off the body. It would have been better for you if you hadn't sat off the body, because now he has fighting chances to defend, like we just saw. Fortunately, he's tired, and that's the only reason you didn't get it, rather than him being good or you doing well. So we're here in this position. Like, he's got his hand in, right? He's got his hand in this space here. Just scoop with your arm under this space, connect your hands together, push your chest into his arm, and it will clear the underhook. You're winning right now. You're winning. That is an underhook. You win. Just go for your underhooks. I promise. You don't need to push the arm out of the way. You don't need to push it down. You just need to scoop under the elbow and start clearing the arm up. Because, believe it or not, the hand is actually attached to the elbow. So if you move the elbow, the hand will follow. Just go for the underhook. No, go for the underhook. I don't know what the objective is with this knee here. I'm sorry. It's not doing anything. It's just saving him from having his arms cleared. It's not really controlling him. Because if he wanted to, both hands would go on the top of your thigh. He'd use his feet on the floor, push his head that way, the knee's down anyway. So you're doing really well setting up a bow and arrow, it looks like. Very good. Don't sit down off him yet. Don't sit down off him. So I would really recommend you look up Neil Eckersley to see the Eckersley armbar, which is basically S-mount. You need to be practicing your S-mount. So right now, your calf muscle is on him. You need to be sat on him with your thigh. If you look up Gordon, whenever he does his arm bars, he's always sitting heavy with his thigh on the other person's diaphragm. And that will be much more effective for you to set up this choke, because right now there's a lot of space for his head to go. He shouldn't be really defending the neck. He should be grabbing the elbow and just pulling it over your head, and then the entire thing's done. And then because you're holding onto his thigh and pulling, it encourages him to roll towards you. And then the armbar is difficult to get as well as a follow-up. Yeah, exactly what just happened is what I'm saying is likely to happen. Then he almost gets his guard back, but he doesn't push on your hips. Instead, he's focusing on, for some reason, hugging you to him. Well, he does get a guard back, sorry. Okay. So he got his guard back, and instead of getting the hands on the inside space, he goes the roundabout way to push you off the top. And so very good work capitalizing on his mistakes again, getting back to mount. I would love to see you just stay low and heavy the whole time. You'll cook your opponent way more. When you get those underhooks cleared, you'll be amazed at how easy it is just to step in for a... No, stop going for this. Stop taking away your route rigger. Stop taking away your pusher and your driver. You'd be amazed at how easily... Yeah, you see how you use that foot to push yourself around the corner? You did exactly what I'm talking about. See how you use it to push off the floor, and you end up pushing yourself around the corner into mount. If you take your base away and trying to pull his knees down, you're just putting your foot in range of being grabbed, right? You're taking all of your weight off of him, all of your drive off of him, and if you're lighter than he is, he's stronger, he'll just push you. He'll just push you up. And I don't know what he's doing trying to reach up for your chest. He should be on your hips to push you down his body. He should be getting on his side so that this side is taller. And he should be using his feet on the floor. I don't know what this is. And he should be trying to push you down his body as he shrimps. But again, half-hearted attempt at a bridge and roll, and he stops, and you've got this really nice crossface. Nice setup. He's defending it quite nicely. And I think you might get it this time. I'm not sure. So you're a little bit off-center to him as well. You want the middle of your chest to be over his face and your head to go past him to the floor. Other than that, the positioning's pretty good. Could probably be a bit deeper. into the collar. I'll probably do a cross-collared class tonight for you, actually, and then I'll cover the cross-collar the way that Hodger taught me to do it. Yeah, he rolls to the side. You don't necessarily need to respect this. You just need to stay heavy on the cross collar, and I don't know what happened. Okay, he somehow gets out. Did you tap, or did he get DQ'd for the reap? What happened? Oh, okay, he got the tap. Okay, that's disappointing. Alright, so you... okay. So he manages to escape mount because of the aforementioned reasons of why you shouldn't be putting your knee up and over the top of his shoulder. You can also scoop out the back. And so you lose mount. You lose the mount, and he manages to roll you off the top, and then just latches onto a desperation ankle, reaps the fuck out of you, and then pulls as hard as he can to get the tap. Come on, man. You were winning. You were winning so well, too. He's nowhere near as good as you. Nowhere near as good as you. And he's going to go home and fucking wank with nothing but his belt on and his socks over that win, dude. You know it. You know he's going to be standing in front of the mirror with his socks and his belt on, just fucking jerking it over this. Bro. I'm pleased that you tapped out when you did, though, instead of risking injury on your knee. Okay, so good match. There was some really, really good stuff in there. It's the start of a quite nice game that you're developing. And I'm proud of you for stepping in and doing the fight, you know. So well done with that. What I want you to work on is I want you to really work on your pressure techniques and your underhooks and getting your head and your chest to the inside space. Inside space meaning middle of their chest. I want you to work on flattening them out, and I want you to work on just that, pressure technique and underhooks, and then you'll be amazed at how much more you win. You should have won this. You should have won this match. The amount of mistakes and critical flaws in your opponent's game that just scream out, please beat me. He basically gave you the win on a diamond-encrusted gold platter, and you threw it away. So it's a bit disappointing for you. But that's okay, because that's how we learn, right? That's just the way of the way of the sport. So very well done for stepping in, and thank you very much for letting me analyze this. Work on that pressure technique, work on the double unders, work on the inside space, and then you'll be amazed at how much of an improvement you make to your game. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for the support. And once again, if you'd like to join the Discord, the link's down below. Thank you so much.